the recap for Sunday, September 29th, 2024. I'm Daniel Montoya Jr. for General Effect Media, and we have a packed episode. So we're going to skip through all the commercials, though you will see graphics throughout. Thumbs up, subscribing, notification bell, all of those things. We start off with the Louisville Regional, which was held indoors as a standstill evaluation-only performance opportunity with no competitive results due to the hurricane that is all but decimating, if not decimating, the Southeast, the Midwest, the East Coast, etc. Now, if we look at the timeline of this event, and I discussed this on the Friday episode of This Weekend in Band, we knew the hurricane was going to be bad, and we knew the hurricane was going to hit Florida and move up into the Midwest. But we were still going to have marching band shows, unless you were Avon High School, who on Friday at 10:39 a.m. Eastern canceled their competition for this past weekend. Remember that date and time, Friday, 10:39 a.m. Also, Friday morning or Friday afternoon, depending on which contest, KMEA, which is Kentucky Marching Education Association, canceled their events for the weekend. So we had Friday afternoon, Friday morning, Avon in Indiana and Kentucky, in the state of Kentucky, where Louisville was held, all had the forethought and foresight and just the right thing in mind by canceling their contest for the weekend. Who didn't cancel on Friday? Well, on Thursday evening, there was a Zoom call held by Music for All and Bands of America to discuss the upcoming Louisville Regional. Now, I have been supplied with some quotations, some maybe paraphrasing, so I will not say these are direct quotes because I don't want to misquote, but the gist of what was said by the people that were representing Music for All and some of the questions by the directors. There were a number of directors, organizers, all that were involved with what was going to take place Saturday at Louisville. Remember, this is Thursday night. We knew our hurricane was coming, and we were about 12 to 18 hours away from Avon and the state of Kentucky KMEA canceling their events. If we get much more than 1 to 2 hours of delay, we will have to cancel finals. But you should be able to get run in. So they kind of thought they were going to have to cancel finals. Now, a question was asked by, I don't know, a director or somebody who was on the non-BOA MFA side. If it's going to be better in the afternoon than the morning, can we just say no finals right now and just delay the start of the contest? This was not an action that BOA and Music for All took. Now, if you know what ended up happening, basically groups started dropping out, I think as early as Friday, but definitely Saturday morning. Groups just wrote in on the Slack or the band app or whatever it is they use to communicate with the directors. So-and-so band will not be participating. Good luck. We are not making our way. It just got shorter and shorter. BOA MFA officials drove to Lexington for the show. Louisville, pardon me, to the great city of Louisville. I know your rivals. To Louisville. Judges were flying in. BOA MFA officials were driving in the rain and all of that stuff. And during all this, they were also actively looking at a possible indoor situation, which is not something that they were planning to do based on what has been shared with me at this time. Then by the time they figure it all out, they say, hey, we are going to have an indoor standstill competition at, I believe, the Christian Academy. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It's somewhere else. They got locked up. They had it all ready to go. And a lot of groups, and they said, if anybody wants to RSVP to come back, we'll gladly take you. They ended up with 4 overall competitors or participants on Saturday. Ultimately, one of those 4 dropped out, and only 3 groups participated in this evaluation-only standstill performance. There were 4 other shows that went off pretty well without a hitch. Certainly nothing like this. And I am a huge proponent and supporter of Music for All and Bands of America. Certainly not the type to go on a rant because of parking costs that are not set by BOA or Music for All. Some people just want to scream at the sun or scream at a cloud, Grandpa Simpson. I love what BOA and Music for All does. I think more often than not, they are in the right, their hearts are always in the right places, and they try to do the best and the right thing that they can at the time. I just think this is going to be the one swing and the miss, hopefully the only swing and the miss, the black eye of the season. It's a learning opportunity, I'm sure. And again, hindsight 2020, they'll all say that this is not a knock, and please don't take this as anything more than just reporting with a little bit of editorializing. But mistakes were made. Bad decisions were made. I get it. But at the end of the day, look, 5 regionals, 4 went off pretty well. So you're batting 80%. You could have batted 90%, 95, certainly not 100% with the hurricane. Yeah, I get it. Act of God, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, not a great look for BOA Music for All in Lexington, in Louisville. Boy, I'm going to get hate from Lexington folks and Louisville folks. How dare I mistake Big Red with Big Blue? Regardless, let's turn the page and move on. BOA is going to learn for this. Music for All is going to learn from this. Great people, their heart's in the right place. We're all about positively life-changing experiences. This was definitely a life-changing experience. Not sure if we'd call it positive, though. Let's move on to Texas, to the Odessa Regional at Ratliff Stadium, where I predicted the top 2 would come down to Braswell and Richland. And guess what? Your boy was right. Braswell and Richland. Braswell took the overall finals competition, sweeping not all the captions, pardon me, winning visual performance and general effect, with Permian winning music performance, Permian placing 3rd overall. If we go to prelims results, in Class A, Lubbock Cooper Liberty took all captions, placed 1st, and in 2nd place, Tulia High School in Class A. In Class AA, recent finalists from Las Cruces Pecos High School took 1st place, as well as music performance and general effect. Randall High School took 2nd, Riverside took 3rd, winning the visual performance caption. In AAA, Richland High School took 1st, as well as all captions and prelims. W.E. Boswell took 2nd, Nimitz High School taking 3rd. And in 4A, Braswell in Class 4A took all captions, won 1st place, with Permian getting 2nd place and V. Sioux Cleveland High School taking 3rd. If we move on to finals where, again, I mentioned Braswell High School took 1st place overall. We look at the sub-captions, which, thank you, I was reminded, gently nudged, that the sub-caption integrity, the little describers for the 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 plus, those are just for subcaptions, and I mistakenly carried them over to the averages and to the total scores, which at that point then should actually be doubled. It shouldn't be about the subcaptions, it should be doubled. So reminder, I thank you for reminding me about that. So basically all the descriptors are just for subcaptions, like music individual, music ensemble does not apply to the whole average of music, and certainly does not apply to the whole total in sorts. But yeah, over 2 points between groups is pretty significant. So if we look at music individual, Permian took 1st over Braswell High School. Braswell in 4th. They were in 4th in music individual. It was a 1.4 difference between 4th place and 1st place. We call that a significant difference. If we go into music ensemble, Permian took 1st again, but Richland was in 2nd. Braswell moved up to 3rd. This time only 0.2 behind, which we consider very comparable. You put it all together, Permian won music, and then in 2nd was Richland, 3rd was Braswell. So Braswell getting 3rd in music, we announced that Permian won music in finals. We move on to visual individual, where Richland took 1st, Braswell took 2nd by 0.4. This is minor differences. We get into visual ensemble, where Braswell was 1st over 2nd place Permian by 0.3. We consider that to be minor differences. And then in the visual caption, Braswell took 1st, with Richland taking 2nd, 0.05. Very comparable. Though, again, because think about like 0.1, then still very comparable. General effect music 1, Braswell took 1st. General effect music 2, Permian took 1st, 0.1, very comparable. You put it all together, Braswell wins general effect music. You go to general effect visual, Braswell was in 1st over Richland with 0.2, which is very comparable. And then that's how we get Braswell winning 1st, Richland getting 2nd, with Permian getting 3rd at the Bands of America West Texas Regional Championship. Yeah, fun times in the old Panhandle. We move up a few miles, or a few dozen 100 miles, to the state of Oklahoma. If I may do a small editorializing, we are 2 weeks away. It is OU hate weeks. Why doesn't Oklahoma fall into the Gulf of Mexico? Because OU sucks. All right, so we have a little bit of stuff from the Owasso Invitational. Yes, that's right, the OIMC finals results, where Bixby High School took 1st, Edmond Santa Fe took twice. Jenks took third, twice, took second. Jenks took third, Choctaw fourth, Union fifth. Bentonville West from Arkansas took fifth. Sapulpa, not Sebulba from Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, but Sapulpa High School took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost count. Muskogee took 7th. Muskogee took 8th. Boy. Edmond Memorial took 9th. Collinsville took 10th. Tahlequah took 11th. Tahlequah. Yep. And then Coweta took 12th. A couple of things to talk about this. Jenks took overall outstanding music performance, rather. Choctaw took outstanding visual performance. Edmond Santa Fe took outstanding general effect. What school did I not mention? The school that won overall. Bixby High School won without winning a caption. It can be done. It obviously has been done and will continue to be done. And it just was done. So, Bixby, no captions, they still won. Jenks High School, who is going to Grand Nationals and was a projected bubble band for potentially making it in, getting third place by less than a point from Bixby High School. But remember, they won the music performance caption. Making a regional or making finals or winning a show this far out is not necessarily indicative of how a group will do at Grand Nationals. One could just look at James Bowie comes to mind, missing BOA San Antonio finals and then making Grand National finals the next week. Groups have done this. Make San Antonio finals, miss Grand National finals. Actually, has that happened? Has a group made San Antonio finals and then not made Grand National finals? Nerds, help me out in the comment section down below. But there have been a number of examples of bands not making BOA San Antonio finals and then turning around and doing quite well at Band America Grand National Championships. In fact, there was, for a while, a group who had never played in finals at a Texas regional who made finals at Grand Nationals. Now, it was unfair because I think one of those finals was rained out, but fact remained, they had never played in a Texas regional finals performance. Moving from the Panhandle to Oklahoma, we now go to El Paso, Texas, which if you're looking at Texas, it's basically over here. We talked about Las Cruces, El Paso, they're basically in the same area. Super far west Texas or super far east New Mexico, however you want to handle it. The Coronado Thunderbird Marching Invitational. I know it's the Thunderbird something or other, hosted by Coronado, a prelims finals format in the city of El Paso where you had 3 4A schools, a number of 5As, and a number of 6As in El Paso compete to advance to finals competition. They took 10 bands to finals. If we look at this, and I'm taking my glasses off because once again, I have to take my glasses off to read up close. 10th place, Bel Air High School. This is in finals. We moved to 9th place. Eastwood High School, we moved to 8th place. Andres High School or Andres High School, 7th place. Montwood High School. Montwood. Montoya or Montoya. Why I'm not writing for that school, I'll never know. 6th place, Eastlake High School. We mentioned that school last week when talking about the Las Cruces Regional. 5th place, top 5, Parkland High School. 4th place, El Dorado High School. 3rd place, Franklin High School. 2nd place, Pebble Hills High School. And 1st place, winning prelims and finals, Hanks High School, the Hanks Knights. If we go into the captions, now these captions and numbers and spreads are very different than a BOA, WGI, DCI type sheet. I believe they were given, it says right here, they were given 200 points. So I imagine a 100 is like getting a 50. A 200 is like getting 100. We'll figure it out that way. If we go to music individual, Hanks scored a 17.5, a 175. It's not a 17.5. They scored a 175, a 17.5. We'll say that. Pretty high, I would say, if we put it in BOA terms. Music ensemble, a 180. That was in 2nd place for Hanks. Hanks was 1st in music individual, 2nd in music ensemble. They tied with Pebble Hills High School for the music caption with 177.50, which I imagine is a 17.75, give or take or something. Don't hold me to this. These don't transfer to the BOA sheets. Visual individual. Pebble Hills was in 1st with a 171. Hanks was in 2nd with a 169. Visual ensemble. Hanks was in 1st with a 199 to Pebble Hills 198. Overall visual. Pebble Hills was in 1st with a 184.5 over 184. So right now, Pebble Hills is winning by 1.50. But then we get into general effect. GE Visual, the first judge gave Hanks a 178. Second place to Pebble Hills, 176. GE Music 1, a 185 for Hanks in first, a 181 for Pebble Hills in second. GE Music 2, Pebble Hills was in first with a 170. Hanks was in second with a 167. You put it all together, and Hanks won general effect 176.67 to 175.67. You throw it all together, and Hanks won with an 89.15 to an 88.90. Very close. I don't fully grasp because I wasn't there, and I don't see the recap sheets to totally get the way the numbers are breaking down. But those are the rankings. Now, like I said, this was a mixed contest, and if you're looking towards how this may go for UIL competition when we get to area, because all these bands will compete against each other in area, albeit in their respective classes. So if we start with 5A high school band, Hanks, who won, was a 5A band. If we go down to El Dorado, who's a 5A band, they were second in 5A. Parkland was third in 5A. Bel Air was fourth in 5A. Bel Air was fourth in 5A. And Andres was fifth in 5A. So those were your 5A groups spread out. If we go to 6A, Pebble Hills, who was second overall, is first in 6A. Franklin is second in 6A. Montwood, third in 6A. That's because my last name, not because I work for them. Eastwood, fourth in 6A. East Lake, fifth in 6A. So that's how it breaks down as of now. Potentially, if this were a UAL competition, that's how things might go. But also remember, if you're a Texas fan or you don't know anything about Texas UIL, El Paso and the Panhandle, the Midland, Odessa, Lubbock kind of situation, are in Area A. It's a huge chunk of space. All right, we do it by bands. Like there's schools, not landmass, but I would argue, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, Area A has to be the biggest mass of space in an area for Texas, right? In a band area. We call it a band area. I'm sure it's a football area, whatever. Having said that, we used to divide, or I actually know what, it went back and forth. Sometimes they would all meet in El Paso or all meet in Odessa or Midland or Lubbock or whatever. And then other times they did an Area A West and then an Area A East. So West was the El Paso area, East was the Panhandle area. This coming year, everyone's getting together, all the bands. There are the potential of 27 bands that could get a Division I, which means at the most, Area A could send 5 bands. This is Area 5A, could send 5 bands to state. Not sure what it's really going to come down to, and I'm not sure of the 6A logistics of all that stuff. So if you're interested in a UIL, we're going to talk about it as we get closer and closer to UIL season. But Area A just geographically makes it very, very interesting, especially because in Hanks, there's a lot of 5As. It's very similar to sort of the greater North Austin area where you have a lot of really good 5A bands, the Cedar Parks, the Rouses, the Leanders, the Hanks, the Eldorados, the Horizons, etc. And there's also obviously very talented 6A groups like Pebble Hills, East Lake, etc. So remains to be seen. And then you have Lubbock. You have the Lubbock, Midland, Permian, Odessa. It's a whole smorgasbord, which we'll get there in a few weeks when we get to area competition and we talk about Texas. We now take a trip up to Des Moines, Iowa for the Iowa Regional, which was held at Waukee Northwest Athletic Complex, where we gave you we predicted the top 6, and I don't remember who those were. It's already gone out of my mind, even though it was 2 days ago. But Rosemount, is it Rosemount, or am I just saying Rosemont because of Montoya Mont, because I like to put my name in things because it's a portmanteau. Rosemount took first, Lincoln second, Bellevue West took third, Fayetteville fourth, Eastview fifth, Pala sixth. I think Pala was the only one we got wrong. I think we thought Millyard West was going to be in top 6 and not Pella or Paya, and Pella got in there. So I think we got 5 out of 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. Lincoln High School took music. Rosemount took visual and general effect. This is in finals. In prelims Class A, Mock Floyd Valley swept all captions, took first. And Geneseo, I'm thinking Star Wars Attack of the Clones. What is that? What was the clone planet? Someone remind me in the comment section down below. They took second out of Illinois. Definitely not the Star Wars planet. In Class AA, Bellevue West took first, swept all captions. Pella took second, or Paya. And Bellevue East took third. I had to double check that I didn't just misappropriate or just give Bellevue West all the captions, but that was indeed what happened. Bellevue West took first, Bellevue East took third, Acapella took second. In Class AAA, Rosemount took first, and they took visual performance and general effect. Lincoln High School got first and took music, and Eastview High School took third place. And then if we go to Class 4A, Fayetteville, Arkansas, the only Class 4A participant, swept all captions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said Rosemount, Lincoln, Bellevue West, Fayetteville, Eastview, and Milliard West. We got 5 out of 6. We did it. 5 out of 6, pretty good. I will say that if we were a baseball player, we'd be in the Hall of Fame picking 5 out of 6. And if I was a football player and I threw 5 out of 6, fantastic. Fantastic. Good for us. Good for me. But good for Jim. But mainly me. Now, if we go into the recap of the recap here, we look at music performance, music individual. Lincoln took first over Rosemount in second, 0.5 difference. That's a definitive difference. We go into visual music ensemble, rather. Rosemount took first over Lincoln in a 0.3, which is we consider minor differences. Put it all together, Lincoln won music over Rosemount, 0.1, real small, almost as small as you can get. We get some wackiness here, and I consider it wacky. Visual individual. Lincoln was in first over Rosemount by 0.8. That's a significant difference. Significant. Rosemount took first in visual performance ensemble over Lincoln in second by 0.9. We had 2 judges saying the difference between these 2 groups was so significant, but one's... Now, understanding that an on-field judge is sampling, right? If you are sampling, you are right place, right time, wrong place, wrong time. Ensemble, get the whole picture. So it's big picture versus small picture. Differences will occur. It just seems wild that they both felt that there were such significant differences between these 2 groups. They just thought it was opposite. You put it all together, visual performance, Rosemount wins first over Lincoln High School. We go to music, general effect 1. Rosemount in first over Lincoln second, 0.2 difference, which we call comparable. But music effect 2 had Lincoln in first, Rosemount in second by 0.2. It's a wash. So general effect music was a tie. What broke the tie? Why, that was visual effect with Rosemount in first over Lincoln High School by 0.5. What do we call that? Definitive differences. Put it all together. And that is how you get Rosemount in first and Lincoln in second at the Iowa Regional of Corn. Iowa, are they known for corn? Corn Huskers? Oh, that's Nebraska. I am really calling out the wrong cities today. Louisville, Lexington, Nebraska. Woo, woo. Forgive me, Hawkeye State. It's the Hawkeye State, right? Now we move to the DFW, the Fort Worth area for the Mansfield Preview of Champions. They had a prelims and finals format. If we look at this one, this is another one much like the Thunderbird Coronado show in West Texas, El Paso. That is more of, this is how things could work later on in UIL area competition as we advance to state. So this is probably a little bit more of a UIL type contest, which is good if your goal is to advance to state. And if you're in the DFW area, there were no BOAs. Yet. You'll get 2 soon enough. If we work backwards, Legacy High School took 10th place, Creekview in 9th, Arlington High School 8th, Timberview 7th, Mansfield Summit took 6th, South Grand Prairie High School took 5th, Lake Ridge High School took 4th, Berkner High School took 3rd, Midlothian took 2nd, and Colleyville Heritage High School took 1st. Now, of these groups, and there were 10, 5 were 5A and 5 were 6A. So if you're looking at this for a potential UIL area, harbinger of things to come, Colleyville and Midlothian 1st and 2nd are 5A. Summit and Timberview 6th and 7th are 5A. Creekview in 9th was also 5A. If we go into 6A, Berkner, who was 3rd, is 1st. So Berkner, then Lake Ridge, then South Grand Prairie, Arlington, and Legacy. That's where your 5 were in 6A. But wait! The Dallas-Fort Worth area just isn't one giant area in UIL. It should be 3. Right now, it's 2, Area B and Area C. So of these groups, of these 6A groups, we had 1 Area C representative. That's Berkner High School. The rest were Area B representatives for 6A, Area B, Lake Ridge, South Grand Prairie, Arlington, Legacy, at least according to what I was able to find in our trusty manifestos based on online data and information. If I am incorrect, please let me know in the comment section down below. However, last year, these areas were different, so Berkner was also in Area B, so this would have been 5 groups in Area B. But this year, the only one that is now in a different area, in Area C, would be Berkner High School. Colleyville Heritage, who placed first, took Outstanding Music, Outstanding Visual, and Outstanding Percussion. Midlothian, who took second, took Outstanding Guard. We now move to Shenandoah, Texas. North Houston, the North Houston Regional, at Wood Forest Bank Stadium in the city of Shenandoah, Texas. So it's not Houston. I predicted it would come down to the Woodlands, Cy-Fair High School, and Dawson High School. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. All 3 made finals. But it did come down to the Woodlands and Cy-Fair High School in the top 2. Woodlands first, Cy-Fair second, College Park third, Stephen F. Austin fourth, Tomball Memorial fifth, Clearbrook sixth, Foster 7th, Klein Oak 8th, Friendswood 9th, Cinco Ranch 10th, Dawson 11th, North Shore Senior High School in 12th. The Woodlands swept all captions in finals. They swept all captions in finals just because I see the word prelims. I'm moving on. Class A, Freeman High School swept all captions, and they were the only group in Class A, so they won first place. No AA participants. AAA, Clearbrook took first, as well as visual performance and general effect. Friendswood took second, also took music performance. They are going to Grand Nationals this year. College Station High School took third place. And in Class 4A, the Woodlands High School swept all captions and prelims, took first. Cy-Fair High School took second, and College Park High School took third. And if we dig into the recap, music individual, the Woodlands took first by 0.7. Definitive difference. They took ensemble by 0.1. Very comparable for a overall music win for the Woodlands. We get to visual performance individual. They took first, 0.3. Minor differences. They took ensemble in first by 0.3. Minor differences. Overall, they won that caption. Music general effect 1. They took first by 0.3. What is that? Minor differences. They took general effect music. Oh, they did not. In general effect music 2, they were second. They were second by 0.1, which we call very comparable. Yes, this is like Dora. And then music effect, they ended up taking that caption. And then in visual effect, the one judge, they won that by 0.1, which again, everybody say it all together, very comparable, which leads us to a Woodland sweep of all captions and their fill in the blank here, North Houston Regional Championship / overall BOA Regional Championship. So good for them. Good for them. Now, before we dig into our last show, I get a lot of comments in the comment section, but more importantly, I'll get text messages, or in a very rare case, I will get someone talking to me directly about things that I have reported or said on This Weekend in Band or the recap. And I will not be sharing names. I will not be sharing schools. I will share that I have received messages through Facebook or text messages from band directors who I have mentioned their bands in one way or the other, positively, or I wouldn't say negatively because I don't feel like I speak negatively. Maybe I spoke more positively about one program, or I spoke too positively about their program, or they're a band mom who heard something from their child. I love this. I love that the Kieske area kids came for me after I left them out of my predictions, and then they said, hey, we're right here. Just want you to know, we're here. I love that. I think it's great. If I'm going to come on here and talk about band this way, like the way we talk about college sports or professional sports, I welcome it. I think it's great. School me. Put me on game. So Kieske area, you were the first ones. And then there was a band parent. Again, I won't mention anything. But her child is with the Vandergrift Viper High School Marching Band, who I did not list as one of the 3 that I thought would win the Austin Regional. I said Rouse, Cedar Park, and Round Rock. And much like the Woodlands show, or the Conroe show, the Shenandoah show I just talked about, I was 2 out of 3. Vandergrift was not only one of the 3 challenging, they swept prelims and they swept final. They stuck it to me. They were quiet. While the Kieske kids were very vocal and public about it, the Vandergrift kids just put their heads down and took care of business. But this particular band parent's child, my understanding, and forgive me if I misquote this or paraphrase this incorrectly, came down and said, Montoya made a video about the Austin Regional. And this band parent said, oh, what'd he say? He predicted Rouse, Cedar Park, and Round Rock to win. And I suppose this band parent wasn't sure if she was remembering correctly, that then asked their child, well, how's that make you feel? He either said, let's effing go, or it's effing on. Regardless, you're welcome for giving you that extra little mojo, momentum, chip on your shoulder. And this particular person, I think, then watched my recap of it and said that they felt really good about me doing that. So I love that. But that's not even the best story. That's 2 stories. The third story is I had a band director reach out to me and said, watching your prediction video or whatever made me sweat because I listed their band as one of the bands that I thought would do really well at a show. And I was like, I think I do. I don't just make this stuff up. I don't just pull it out of thin air. He's like, oh, like he said it made him sweat or made him nervous or something. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And then my fourth story has to do with a show that I may or may not have already discussed. I will not let you know which show it is, and I will definitely not tell you what band it was. But a director did text me after all the results were out from all the shows yesterday and just said I had this one locked and loaded ready. So I love it. I welcome it. I think this is marching bands like college football. We got fans, we got fanatics, and I welcome any and all fun, positive, constructive comments. Keep the cursing down unless it's like a let's effing go or it's effing on. I totally get it. It's all in good fun. I obviously love band. I'm a band fan, and I support all of this stuff. I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, we are putting scores to these band shows. So therefore, it is a competition. And for anyone that may think that this is not healthy, and I haven't heard anyone say that directly to me, and I've not heard anyone say that indirectly. But if you out there think this is not good for the activity, this is not good for these kids, this is not blah, 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 this is not college football. You're right, it's not college football. Because the kids get NIL in college football. Oh, there's not the kind of money being thrown around like college football. Have you looked at what designers get paid? Have you looked at how much it costs to take bands to contests? Real money is spent on marching band. Real money. Amigo money. So, miss me with all of that. Band is just this. No. It's pedagogical, it's educational, it's musical. I believe all of that. But you can't say that it is not also this. And it is this. It is this. And we have acknowledged that, but I think a lot of people don't want to really acknowledge it. It is. It's a great activity. It teaches discipline, teaches character. It teaches all of these things. It's an amazing, fantastic thing that we do. It's also a competition with lots of money, and kids love it and they feed off of it, and that's good. It's a good thing. The San Marcos Regional, the first regional ever to take place at Bobcat Stadium. Will it be the last? They better fix that construction. This is not an attack on my fair city. I have 2 degrees I have one from Southwest Texas and I have one from Texas State. I'm that old. I love that city. I've always hated the trains. And with a city that is trying to be bigger than it was, construction, it's going to happen. This was going to be an issue from the very beginning. When they announced a San Marcos Regional, I think they had already announced the construction of the end zone. I think it's the south end zone. They're redoing all this stuff. I knew it was going to be an issue. And trains. If you know anything about San Marcos and Texas State University, you know trains. Somebody should have done a train show if they knew they were going to go play in San Marcos. But regardless, looks like it went off pretty well. I hear it was pretty hot. I heard there was construction cranes. Hopefully it's all finished by next year. If they do another regional here, I hope they do, because what's good for San Marcos is good for Texas State, is good for your boy. Lock, push, gird, eat 'em up cats. Now, I say a lot of things on this. I know that I predicted the top 2 would be Dripping Springs and Mo and Gene Johnson. I honestly don't remember who I said would win. I probably said Mo and Gene Johnson based on past, I guess. But I don't know why it slipped my mind that up to this point, Dripping Springs has already won 2 regional championships. Well, this was their 3rd. They won championships. They won finals, and they took the music performance caption and they took the general effect caption with James Bowie, who placed 2nd, who I did not predict would be top 2. I predicted they would probably be top 5 or 6. So that kind of helps. They won the visual performance capture. That's right. Dripping Springs took first. James Bowie High School took second. McNeil, who I said could be third, your boy called it and said McNeil was going to be third, could be third. I will take that as a win. Another 2 out of 3, 66%, put me in the Hall of Fame. Mo and Jean was in fourth. I believe that's a move up from prelims. Louis D. Brandeis took fifth. Robert E. Hendrickson took sixth. Claudia Taylor Johnson took seventh. Piper took eighth. Lockhart took ninth. William B. Travis took 10th. Liberty Hill took 11th. And A&M Consolidated took 12th. Now, this was a fun fact pointed out to me. The first 3 bands out of Grand National Finals, meaning 13, 14, and 15 place from last year, 2023, were at this regional. That's right. In 13th place last year was James Bowie High School. They got second at this regional. In 14th place last year was Claudia Taylor Johnson. They were 7th. And in 15th place, the Dripping Springs Tiger Band. They were 15th last year. They won this regional. That's wild. That is wild. So there you go. 13, 14, 15. That's where they're at. Now, that's not saying it's different year, different all that, but that just tells you the strength, the depth of the type of bands we have here in Texas. Yes, I am here in the great city of Austin, the great state of Texas, so there is a lot of Texas homerism, but your boy has written for, designed, arranged, instructed, and judged all over the country. So I bring a national perspective to this. But TexasBands.com wasn't wrong when they said band is just better in Texas. It's just better in the Austin area. Anyway, Class A prelims. Long Creek High School, the Long Creek Dragons, new school, sister school of New Braunfels Unicorns out of New Braunfels, Texas, took first. Swept all captions. Manor New Tech High School took second in Class A. In Class AA, Veterans Memorial High School was the only one participating. They took all captions. Class AAA, Robert E. Hendrickson took first. Swept all captions. Lockhart High School was in second. Piper High School took third. And then in the big class 4A, Dripping Springs took first. They took the outstanding general effects captions. James Bowie High School took second. They took visual. And Louis D. Brandeis took third. However, McNeil High School, who was not in the top 3 in prelims rather, in Class 4A, took music. Remember, McNeil ended up placing third overall when it was all said and done. We go to the recap, which is the name of the show. Music, individual performance, Dripping Springs was in first. In music ensemble, Dripping Springs was second. Overall, they were first in that caption. We go to visual performance, where James Bowie was in first, 0.3 over Dripping Springs. We go to visual ensemble, where James Bowie was first by 0.2 over Dripping Springs for an overall 0.2 difference in visual performance. Very comparable. Any given night could happen differently. In general effect, music 1, Dripping Springs was first. Louis Brandeis was second by 0.1. Very comparable. Very comparable. In music, general effect 2, Dripping Springs was first. McNeil was second by 0.1. Very comparable. Put it all together and Dripping Springs was first in music effect. Then you get into visual effect, where James Bowie High School was in first by 0.25 over Dripping Springs Band. But you put it all together and you have Dripping Springs in first with a 50.8. And then you have, wow, McNeil in second with a 49.9. Wait, what? Yes, that's right. I think it was right. That sounds about right. Yeah, wild. It was an 84.75 overall victory to an 83.2, well over a point, almost a point and a half. It's a pretty significant victory, pretty significant gap between those groups. Woo! That's a lot of band. A lot of band wearing this awesome gem shirt. A lot of band to talk about in case you want to donate some money. A lot of band in case you want to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Or if you wanted to subscribe to our General Effects Substack, or go to our Instagram page. All of those things. Woo, boy. All right. We are on the edge, the eve of what the kids and directors refer to as BANDTOBER. You could almost say that this weekend was the unofficial start of said month. I've heard Octoband. I think Octoband sounds funnier because of Octomom. Octoband, BANDTOBER, whatever. As a fan of portmanteaus, I will allow either. We will be recording a new episode of This Weekend in Band later on this week. It will release on Friday. And then, of course, we will be back with a episode of the recap on Sunday. Now, the last 2 years, General Effect Media has participated with Cedar Ridge High School on the Texas Marching Classic. We have assisted with social media on their Instagram, their Twitter, the live blog, as well as collaborating together on our socials. For the first time, we will be on site providing, hopefully, if everything works out, hashtag streaming is hard, live content provided by General Effect Media in a show that we are calling SHOWDAY. That's right. It is obviously inspired by ESPN College Game Day. In a perfect world, you will be able to turn to our YouTube channel, maybe our Instagram channel, and if everything works out, it will be carried by Flo, because Flo Marching will be streaming the Texas Marching Classic as they have done the last few years. So not only will we be continuing to provide social media coverage in conjunction with Cedar Ridge and the Texas Marching Classic, but we will have SHOWDAY on site, weather permitting, everything working out properly. We will be in the vendor area. As you enter the stadium, we want to create a vibe very similar to ESPN College Game Day. It's just about band. And if we do it correctly and the schedule and everything lines up perfectly, we will be on before the first band comes on. So if the first band comes on at 8:30, we'll be on at 8 till about 8:20, 8:25. We'll be back at the lunch break. We'll be back post prelims awards. We will have a pre-final show and then a post-final show. In some way, shape, or form, you will be able to see us either on the YouTube channel, our Instagram, the TMC Instagram, the Flo Marching feed. That's right. Texas Marching Classic, General Effect Media, Flo Marching. It's the collaboration you never knew you needed, but now you won't be able to live without. SHOWDAY, the first official episode of the General Effect Media SHOWDAY. 2 weeks from yesterday. 2 weeks from yesterday, live at the Texas Marching Classic, hosted by Cedar Ridge at the Kelly Reeves Athletic Conference. Drop a W in the comment section down below. That's right. If you're a band fan, a band supporter, bring a sign, bring a flag, bring your shirts, all that stuff. We want that in the background. We want to become, nay, we will become the live on-set, on-site show of marching. The General Effect Media SHOWDAY. It's coming. Drop a W in the chat. We'll see you next week for This Weekend in Band. And we'll see you in 2 weeks live at the Kelly Reeves Athletic Conference Complex. Band